Hello and welcome to this segment of Light Activation Healing. Today we are going to explore a lot of topics on animal healing for pets, for wildlife, for domesticated animals, for non-domesticated animals, and even animals in the afterlife. I'm Cindy Eyler, and we are waiting for Kat Dunn to arrive. And
I'm Homer Castillo.
yeah,
Welcome.
so thank you. So Catherine says, Kat says hi. She's in the chat. Are you going to join us, Kat? You need to click on that link that I sent you on your email. I can see if I can send it. I send it to your Gmail. So if you can just go there and click, I can let you in. So anyway, we're super excited to have Kat on the show today. And we have a lot of questions. And if you have any questions that come up for, that you'd like to know, just type it in the chat and we'll do our best to keep our eyes on the chat and add those questions in if possible. Also, if you're interested in your pet or your animals, in getting a little mini healing reading with light activation and Kat, then make sure you put that in the comments. Also, please just say hello.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Say hello.
Type in the chat room to say hello. So we know.
There's Kat. So we're going to let Kat in. Yeah, so type in the chat and tell us that you're here and where you're tuning in from. And also, if you're interested in your animal getting a little mini session at some point, and also just any questions. So, yeah, let's get Kat in here. Hey.
Hi.
Hello. You made it. So excited. So awesome to have you here. So let's just all relax. This is going to be fun. And I have questions, but I'm sure you have things that you've thought of, Kat, that you want to talk about. I just want to start by introducing Kat to everyone. We both, actually, Homer and I both met Kat at the same time on a Bimini spiritual journey.
Bimini, Bahamas.
Yeah, Bimini, Bahamas. And she's friends with one of our other graduates, and her name's Crystal. She's also a light activation teacher. So anyway, they came and it was such a great trip. Probably my favorite Bimini trip so far. And so we got to know Kat. And what I knew of Kat back then was she was doing, I think, home care, a caregiver to a gentleman. So I don't know if Kat realized at that point that she was a natural healer practitioner, but that's a really common way to know that you have that naturally in your life is when you are doing jobs like that. And then, I know that she went through a lot of quick growth in the couple of years after that journey, where she ended up taking light activation healing and completed through mastery, which is awesome. And also went to nursing school. Are you still in nursing school, Kat?
Well, that's another story. During COVID, some things happened where a friend of mine and I were both late. So we were dismissed from the program. We both misinterpreted the time we were supposed to be there. So we were dismissed, but
dismissed.
It's really heartbreaking, and it's been really, really tough. But at the same time, I know now that I am meant to be a healer, and that's what I've been told, like from all the last few months that I've had to think about all this. I did hear that this was my calling, and so that's what I'm pursuing right now.
Well, that's awesome. And I just like to say, and it may or may not be true for how you feel. But a lot of times I find that people that, get into the healing work, they like it and they seem really interested, but then they feel like they need to do something that seems like mainstream to make it like normalized for them a little bit. Like, well, I'll go be a massage therapist, or I'll go be a nurse. And then, but they don't really, they want to do their healing work, but it feels easier for them to do kind of something mainstream and maybe include it.
That's
So
very true.
that might be part of the reason. And also I know, because I I got a BS in business management. And although I didn't stay in the corporate world, that schooling really helped me. So it's something that I didn't know I was going to use it for my own business, but it was really helpful. So there's a reason why you did it. And I didn't know that, but that's crazy because I think you were almost finished.
I was. I had just one more semester left. And what happened is they dismissed me the day before the last day of the semester. So it was really...
That's crazy.
Yeah. 2020 is a crazy year. That's for sure.
But I'm getting chills. So, I mean, that's really crazy. My intuitive hit on that is that was supposed to happen to stop you from doing that. I mean, the way that happens pretty much like final, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
I was supposed to go down the other path, and it did lead me to healing as well. Like I wouldn't have pursued something like light activation healing if I hadn't thought I would use it in my career in nursing, which I had intended to do. So, it all led down to a different path.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because we tend to get doctors, nurses, teachers, like these are people that are doing those kind of jobs, and then they feel guided to light activation. So it's kind of interesting how that all works. But yeah, Homer, did you want to say anything about Kat and anything that comes to mind?
I just want to say Kat is an amazing person. We did meet her first time in Bimini, Bahamas. She was a bit quiet at first, but she opened up at the end of the trip, and she just connected with everybody, and her healing abilities are amazing too. She's really good at what she does, and I'm glad she's working with animals.
Yes. And that's the other thing is light activation healing. There's so many aspects. It's really a way of life. You can use it on anything. So, and yourself, So, I know that some people tend to use it in the way that they are guided to use. I mean, there's a technique, but just like what their focus is. It's not like everybody does the same focus. Some people are really focused on doing emotional healing on humans or ascension, helping people raise their vibration and really do what their soul purpose is. I believe that comes with it in whatever path or walk of this light activation system happens. So that's great because light activation is about your ascension. It is about your spiritual growth, your personal growth, why you're here, and then just living it the best way you possibly can, regardless of what's going on in the world. I find we look at things at just a much higher perspective. So it just keeps us growing and expanding, which is amazing. The other thing is that when I started seeing Kat on her Facebook, starting groups, that really made me happy because I was like, okay, she's, feeling guided to spread out and do this in her own way. And I know that she loves animals, so that makes total sense. But also I know that with her abilities that she works on humans as well and is very good at it. That's one thing we take pride in with light activation healing is our ability to teach whoever is coming, whether they have experience or have zero experience, and we make sure that they are kick-ass healing practitioners by the time they walk out. They are not going to be mediocre. They are not going to be beginners. They are going to take the fast path and trailblaze it in their abilities. Like they might go from not knowing anything to just bam, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like their whole world changes. So yeah. Okay, so let's get into this. Kat, before we start going into it, or if you want to start going into, is there anything you wanted to say?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited to be here. And to have people experience light activation, not only for people, but to see what we can learn about their animals.
Right. So I have some questions. So if I can just maybe start with those. There's some tapping going on. Who's tapping?
It sounds like it might be my phone.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it sounds like my speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's turn it down a little.
Okay. So I guess I want to start by, did you always feel like you were communicating with animals prior to this?
I always felt very connected to animals. The communication started probably more so in my late teens. Probably when I was around 17 or 18, I noticed I could communicate very well with my dog, Sam. But before that, I just felt very connected to animals. Like whenever there was an animal around, I wanted to be next to them, and they always gravitated towards me.
So is that not only pets, but do you find in nature that things also gravitate to you? Butterflies, birds, I don't know.
Yes, most definitely. I've had wild animals follow me. And also the wind. I'm very connected to the wind. It'll follow my thoughts. Like I'll think something and then the wind will start blowing. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And animals, the insects, the trees. I feel very connected to trees as well.
How about when you're in Bimini, when we were swimming with the dolphins? Did you have a lot of dolphins around you at that time?
Yeah, I had a really cool experience. I was feeling really sick because the water was super choppy that day. Mm-hmm. And everyone had gone into the water, and I thought to myself, well, you're either, actually, no, this wasn't thinking to myself. I heard this. You're either going to be on this boat sick or you're going to be in the water sick. So I chose to go in the water. And I was feeling like nauseous, almost like I wanted to cry because the water kept getting in my mouth and just feeling really overwhelmed. And I saw this dolphin. She was at the bottom of the water. And I told her, I came all the way to Bimini to see you, and I feel so sick. And if you would come visit me, I would feel so much better. So she came up and swam right in front of me. She's just moving her fin, just staring, we're eye to eye, and it was just really magical. And then she went around another friend, Cass, came back and swam again, looking me in the eye, left again, and then came back. And it was just so special. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it was, I believe it was your group that we were like infiltrated by many sharks as well. Was that
yeah, there were sharks too.
There was not just sharks, a lot of sharks.
Yes.
So how did you notice, like, what was your feelings about that? And is it different from the energy or the feeling of a dolphin?
I wasn't afraid of them at all. They didn't seem like they were going to hurt us or anything, but there was a different frequency. It was heavier energy. It felt like, it almost felt like the Jaws song, like no, like how do you describe that frequency? Just heavy, thick, lower.
Present, very present. Yeah. And, dolphins' energy is light and joyful. I just remember seeing the sharks, and then as I looked more, there was more sharks, and pretty soon there was just a lot of sharks. And I was thinking, okay, there are sharks everywhere right now. And this energy. I don't really like the feeling of all these sharks around here. But then what happened? The dolphins came in, and it was like we had sharks and dolphins then. And we were.
But I noticed the sharks were more at the bottom.
Yeah.
And the dolphins were like above that slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like two different dimensions going on.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the sharks did feel heavier, a bit in vibration. Dolphins lighter. And the fact that dolphins were slightly higher where they were swimming. Yeah, I noticed that.
So, sharks are predator energy, right? So, I mean, even if they weren't attacking us at the moment, they still have that kind of search and attack energy. And on another Bimini trip that I went on, we ran into a shark when we went to the healing hole. And of course, it's the one time Homer wasn't there, because I usually make Homer walk in front of me. I do not want to be the first one walking into the mangroves, because nobody has been walking through there, because you only can go in when it's a high tide. So there's only a short period of time that you can get into the mangroves to go to the healing hole. So, there's not people around there. In fact, it's really a privilege to be able to experience that healing hole, because I would say most people in the world in this lifetime will never experience it. So it's just a really magical thing. But Homer couldn't make it that time, and I had to go first. And I saw the shark in the pathway, and I was like, there's a shark in here. And I don't know why I wasn't thinking like it's a predator, like it's not going to be like leaving just because it sees me. But I was thinking it'll leave as we keep walking towards it, like it will go, right? And it kept swimming back and forth. It wasn't leaving. And I yelled out to Ebby, the guy that brings us there, the local that brings us there. I said, Ebby, there's a shark in here. He said, oh, don't worry, it's a baby. And I'm like, don't worry, it's a baby. It's still a decent sized shark. That thing could gnaw on you. And that it got pissed and headed straight at us. And we were like still in the canal heading towards the hole. And it went right at us. And I felt the body just brush against my leg. And then it went between the legs of the girl behind me, and then behind the other one behind her. And I, of course, scream. I scream at it, like whenever I'm shocked, I always, right? So I just scream. But I think it was a valid reason to be screaming. I could feel how strong his body was. And he was like saying, back up, Jack. Like, I'm not even playing with you. But so they were freaked out, and they were like, forget it. We don't want to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh. We're like, the healing hole was like 6 feet ahead of us. I go, we made it this far and we're not going to go in there. Like, really, you guys, we're not going to go in there. And I was like, definitely freaked out, but I was like, okay, I got to be cool. And I didn't want to miss out on going. Like, I know when I go in that healing hole, I'm going to have a huge shift. It's one of my probably my favorite thing to do in Bimini. There's so many favorite things to do, but that really is my favorite thing. And they kept saying, no. And I said, you guys, really? We got this far. Really? We're not going to go in there? And then the shark swam back into the hole, the healing area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to get them to go in there. I'm freaking out because I'm like, if we go in that hole, what are we going to find there? Like, is he going to do something there? And they were finally, I said, listen, let's just walk really close together. Like, what's that? I'm the one in front, so I'll be the one attacked, right? So I got them to go in there. And it was funny because, Kat, you know how when I tell you guys that when we go in there, it spins like a vortex, literally. And it pushes you up, like your legs start going up. You can't stay straight up and down. So I told them that, like, when you go in there, this is what's going to happen. Just find a branch and try to like lodge yourself in a way. So of course, just like in every journey, I tell people things, but then they go, and then they don't listen or remember. We got in there, didn't walk. We drifted in there, and all of a sudden that started happening. And one of the girls' legs are like being pulled up and she's screaming. And she's like, the tree's eating me, like the tree's taking me away. The tree's, eating, like taking her, eating her, doing her. And she was like hysterical. And I'm like, stop it. Like, be quiet. Like, that's the vortex. I told you that was going to happen. Like, it's one of those moments when you feel like you have to slap someone to get them to calm down. And still, I'm wondering if that shark is around. And so she calmed down finally because I was like reminding her, remember, this is the vortex. And so I got them, and then we did a meditation. Like, oh man, this is like typical Cindy spiritual journey. You never know what's going to happen. There's always going to be something freaky, and I just got to play it cool and keep going. and being mad at Homer for not being there. And so anyway, yeah, that was a trippy experience to say the least. And that trip also, birds were.
I was going to say that. Yeah, you mentioned the birds before. Like
coming straight at my face, and I started taking the towel and whipping around, going, "Okay, come at me!" I started getting ghetto. And then I look at the other girls with me, and they're looking at me like it's the first time they met me, right? And I'm like, oh, maybe I should calm down a little bit. Like, but I was like, they were attacking us. You're gonna they would poke your eyes out if you let them. So, and that was where we were doing those healing ceremonies when we were sitting in the circle where it's really calm and really serene and really beautiful. Well, it's not like that anymore at all. That area has completely changed. It's really weird. It's all trashed. And the birds have taken over, and they will attack you. So yeah, that was a crazy trip. But okay, so let's see. I want to get into, so how do you communicate with the animals? Is it telepathy? Is it a feeling? Do you hear their voice? How is it that you it's probably in different ways, because in light activation, you open all of your senses, your feeling, your knowing, your everything. So what are the most common ways?
I mean, I do use all of them. I guess visuals, like just getting a flash of, for example, what my dogs would need, just seeing water or seeing a leash or something. Just also, I have heard them speak. Like sometimes I'll hear my husky. She's very impatient, and because I'm a little bit slower when I do things. So if I tell them, hey, we're going on a walk, I might take about 10 minutes to get their leashes on. And I can hear her say, oh my God, like she gets irritated. And it's not even that she's using those words, oh my God, it's that energy is transferred over to me into my own words as, oh my God. So I do hear them in that way. Or I'll have dreams where one of my...
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like she's having an internet
connection.
She's frozen in time. So when we wait for her to come back, she may not even know that we can't hear her. But we'll wait for her to come back. I'd like to say that in my dreams, animals speak English to me.
No, me too.
I mean, literally.
And I agree with Kat.
English.
Yeah, with what she was saying, it's like you get the message from the animal, but it's being translated for you to understand in your own words.
I just hear English. They speak plain English.
But I get that too, yeah.
Okay, so she's probably going to pop back on in a minute. Yeah, it's really strange when that happens, when, horses have told me things like, yeah, all animals in my dreams speak English to me.
Do we have any questions from our viewers?
Well, I don't see any questions. So anybody who has any questions for anyone, just let us know. If you want a healing for your pet or have an issue with your pet, let us know. Or, yeah, anything that you'd like. Plus, if you'd like a healing reading for yourself, you can also let us know, because we also do
We
healing.
do that too.
So Kat says she thinks the wind is making her internet act up. Yeah, I know. I know that the weather in California is pretty bad.
Yeah, where she lives, it is windy. I'm getting a little wind, but it's not too bad.
So I just told her to log back in when she can. Let's see. All of these questions I have for her are not things that, so we can talk about some of the animal things that we've done.
Yeah, we can.
So I know one time we were in Egypt and we decided this great idea to go horseback riding at sunset. And I think that was the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of beautiful sunsets.
It was magical.
And the reason why I think it was so different and beautiful was that it was in the desert at the Red Sea, and there was no buildings, nothing to obstruct your view. It was just vast desert.
You got to see a sunset with nothing in the way.
It was like
you see the water and you see the sun and the waves.
Then our horses got to walk through the water. It's like that typical, thing that
like I was in the movie.
Yeah.
So
when we were gonna go on the horse, we went to get up on the horse, and when I got on, it didn't register to me that they use an English saddle, and I've never used an English saddle. And when the horse went to
but explain what that is.
It doesn't have a horn. It's just
a handle.
Yeah, whatever you call it. And so I went to grab it and it wasn't there, and I started freaking out. And I was like, wait, I think I almost fell. It just shocked me, and I started to freak out. I just went into this panic. I don't know why. And then Homer.
I was like, Cindy, get a hold of yourself.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't. I said, okay, harmonize with the horse.
Right. So one of our techniques is to harmonize with when couples are having a problem, or if there is one time we were driving to Shasta and Homer and I kept seeing dead deers on the way. So we were harmonizing the land with the animals and all harmonizing the energies. And one time there had been, was that they had a tsunami in Hawaii?
No, I think like an avalanche or earthquake.
Okay, so we were going there, and so we worked on the land there. Looks like Kat's trying to come back in. So, there she is. Great. Awesome. So 1 second. So we harmonize a lot of things. So Homer said, Cindy, harmonize with your horse. And I was like, oh, it was like one of those slap you in the face moments. And so we did, and I was okay, and it was all right, fine by then. But yeah, that was a whole other story. But
it comes in handy, because even when we were on the camels, we would do that too. So yeah, camels, horses.
Yeah, because camels are so funny. I love camels, but camels think humans are pretty stupid. And how do I know? Because of the way they look at humans and the way they treat humans. You will walk by. When we were on Mount Sinai, we had to take camels at 2 a.m. up, like the 3 wise men, and in pitch black up this trail that was up a mountain.
And it's narrow.
Moses Mountain, narrow.
Yeah.
And they would walk right over people that would get in their way and not get out of their way. Like we would say, move, move, like camel, camel, and they wouldn't listen. And
They would use their head and like push someone out.
yeah. And then when we were coming back down, because after we did the camel ride for 2 hours, we had to walk up 750 steps that some monks carved into the mountain. And we had to get up there by sunrise. It's a pretty incredible experience. But then when we came back down where the camels are waiting, they're all sitting there and they're eating. And they're watching people walk by and they're just giving them looks like, you are an idiot. Like the look on their face is so funny. I crack up at them because they're hilarious. Like they do not hide what they are thinking about whoever they're looking at. And I always tell my people, if there's a camel sitting down, do not stand next to a camel's head because it will nab at you or bite at you, and definitely whatever they're regurgitating is going to be on you, and that ain't pretty.
Yeah, they spit.
It's gross. I think they did it to one of our people, and I always warn people, do not stand by the head of a camel. So when you get on a camel, you're pretty vulnerable because those things are very tall and you're at their mercy. So I'll tell you what I do every time I ride a camel. I'm telling it, you are so pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at you. You're so awesome. How are you today? Oh, I'm so glad I have the best camel here. And I ask them what the name of their names are, the people who are working with them. I always ask the names so we can call them their names. And so, yeah, you get the temperament of it. Okay, Kat, yay, you're back. So you want to continue with what you were talking about? Do you even remember?
Yeah, I was talking about communicating with animals. What happened before I was cut out? I said, did you guys hear me talk about dreaming?
Yeah, you were talking about dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so dreaming is another way that I communicate with them. A lot of times, so if I'm around an animal, I can see energy pretty well. And if they have some sort of inflammation, I'll see it appear. I'll see this red energy. Or if there's some mental thing going on with them, I keep looking back because my 2 dogs are there. If there's something mentally going on, I'll see it as an orange. But a lot of times it's just this inner knowing, like I just know what they need, or know what they're feeling, or I feel it as my own emotions as well.
Right. So would you say that animals have emotions and feelings?
Oh my gosh, yes, of course.
They're
sensitive.
So what do you think about, like, I don't want to go into this too much, but what do they call those factory farmed animals? What do they call that? The
factory farms.
Yeah, where they slaughter animals. Do you think that obviously they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely know what's going on, and that's why they're so sick there. And what happens when they kill them in that state is they're in such high stress that they have all these hormones like cortisol, and us humans, when we consume that, we're taking that in. We're taking on that energy.
Yeah.
So it's not a good place. They
know
it.
I'd like to know what when we talk about this, I often hear people say, well, I get mine from, what do they call it? What do they call it when they say that they are
free range?
Free, not only free range, but
cage free,
ethically handled, and handled with even when they say the halal style for the Muslim people, how they say the way they kill them is a better way. What do you think when they say, well, I don't buy that factory farm stuff. I go to like a ranch where they care for the animals?
Well, the animals still know, and I believe that if they don't take them to another place, like let's say the farmer were to kill them, I would think that would be very hurtful to the animal, because the animal had a bond with that person where they fed them every day, and now this person is basically doing the worst possible thing they could do to them.
Right.
So I personally think, like, I've never actually talked to the animals in that situation, but I would believe that it would be hurtful.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think there's any kind way to kill anyone.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll get off that energy. How about can you communicate with your animals when you're not around them? Like, are you picking up on messages from them
Yes.
if you're not near them?
Mm-hmm. They miss me a lot every time I'm gone, and I can feel that.
So it doesn't matter if there's a distance.
Yeah.
Okay, what about animals when they transition?
I have spoke to animals after transitioning, and I've done it for clients. And I mean, a lot of people will ask whether it's okay if because they had to put them to sleep because their animal was in pain. And a lot of people have guilt from that. And I have talked to them, and they know the person's intention. And so in that case, they do understand that it wasn't to hurt them, and they will tell us, and they'll tell us how their life was with the person, and tell the person that they miss them. And usually those animals like to become guides for the people. And other times they will come back in another life and be their pet then.
Yep.
Do you have any deceased pets that you still see around you?
I do see, I recently lived on this farm and took care of this beautiful cat named Catsy. And she's been in my dreams a lot lately. She passed a few months ago. She had kidney failure. And sometimes I'll see her shadow just walk by me, and like, oh. And my dogs will notice her too. Like, I've seen them notice her as well. So she's around still.
Yeah, I have a cat from probably, geez, I'm showing my age. Let's see, almost over 30 years ago that still hangs around.
Whoa.
The only one that I know of, but yeah. And so what do you get a sense of what it looks like when they are, crossed over? Like, what is life for them? Like, how do they feel? What, their temperament at that point?
They definitely feel like light when they've crossed over. That's the only way I can really describe it. They feel light and airy, and I can't really describe it, but they are peaceful.
Yeah, I believe that too. When I have seen animals, especially like roadkill or something, or get hit or just die in some way, I always see the animal just continue on running and being happy. Like, okay, now I'm doing this. Like, it's like no difference to them to, like they're not clinging to the physical aspect. It's just like they're freer. And I always see them just like, they're not attached to the physical aspect. I just feel like they continue their life and they're just happy. They don't have any issues.
I've seen that too. It's so instantaneous, just like.
Right. So that's nice to know. Yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up, Catherine, at this point?
Well, I think that it's important to tell people how important we are to our animals, and how their entire lives revolve around us. They wait for us when we're at work, when we're gone, and they greet us the moment we get in. And I really think that people should give their animals more attention. And I know there are a lot of people who do that, but I have met people who just kind of let their animals, like, leave their dogs in a cage and then go off to party, and their dog, they stay home just waiting all day, and then they don't get walks, they don't get that stimulation that they need. And the more stimulation they get, the more intelligent they get. And so that's very, very important that we do take animals in and give them love and affection, because if they're just waiting around like us during COVID, I mean, think of like how a lot of us are anxious during COVID because we can't go places. Well, think about your animal. That's them every day for years and years. So really think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a really good point. Do you think that animals like routines, or are they just pretty much whatever?
They like routine. It helps prevent anxiety. You know,
so they know what's going to happen,
and they always know that thing is coming.
Right. Okay. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to ask here at this point. Oh, are there any common signs? I mean, obviously, we know a lot of times when a pet needs additional attention, but like maybe at a time when something's going on with them that they do need even more attention. Are there like signs you can look for that you can think of?
Yeah, like a dog may be yawning a lot. That's actually a sign of anxiety. They're not just tired, or panting or pacing, restlessness. Cats will, if they have a UTI, they will actually urinate in the house and not in their litter box. So they'll do something out of the normal, like even they'll even poo in the living room. Like your dog might poo in the living room to let you know there is something wrong. We need to go to the vet. So they'll just start acting very unlike themselves.
Okay, so that's the time when we need to have a little more patience and not just get mad and scold them or whatever. Okay, so I see that Star says that her cat Shay could do with some healing, and she has a bit of a cold. Oh, I do want to say how you see the red inflammation. I see the same thing. I have a dog that's a regular client, and I often see that. That's when I know that he has hurt himself, because he tends to hurt himself. I see that red too. So it's so cool that you said that, because that's exactly what I see too. So if you would like, excuse me?
I do have a question for Kat.
Oh, okay.
Kat, because it happened to me, but when my, not recent cat, because I had a cat that passed away this year, but a few years ago, I had a cat that passed away too. And when she was transitioning into the afterlife, I've seen her healing team, and it was like they were doing light activation around her. Her name was Chubby, and her healing team were other cats, but they were wearing like like the old Dracula movies with the big collars.
Yeah.
So they were wearing that surrounding Chubby. So I was wondering if you had seen like other animals healing teams or their own spirit guides.
I have not, but that is really interesting. Dracula team. I have not.
Okay.
Well, one thing before Catherine does Star's cat Shay, Homer, you're really in tune with alien star beings. Mm-hmm. So I know that you have a lot of drawings, and a lot of them are animals.
Animals, yeah. The majority of my drawings are the animals. So
any insight on healing with them, or?
Yeah, especially when I'm working with clients that have maybe a galactic connection. Sometimes I would see galactic animals that are associated with that person. So I would take note of it because now some of the animals I've seen in healing sessions, they do look like ones found on Earth, but not all of them, but some of them. But there's like a different vibration to it, or more sentient, more intelligent vibration to them. But I've seen some interesting animals as well.
What are their purpose in their dimension?
Their purpose, well, it's kind of like here, the ones that the people here that have pets, there's that connection. So even if the person is here on Earth, they may have a strong connection too with that animal who may not be in the current dimension. So it might be a different dimension out there in space. And even the person here has the aspect too out there. So that connection is never lost. And it's still there no matter what planet or dimension they are residing in. It's still connected.
Do you, you know how we say, like, we can tell some people that are human, are human. That was redundant. Humans might be associated with being star or alien associated, but are in a human body. Are there particular animals that are like that as well?
So like a galactic animal in a human body? Is that what you're
not in a human body, as a physical animal.
Oh, I mean,
in our earthly reality.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to go the other direction. So you're asking if, can you clarify that one more time? Because I was going in a different direction.
Okay, so how you're connected to a galactic alien, whatever, like you're a human, but you're definitely rooted from alien roots, star-based. And
I mean, I was a galactic animal in a lifetime.
Okay, but I'm saying like an animal that we would know here that is rooted in star energy, I guess.
Oh, shoot. I could go off on that. Well, and I know you love squirrels, but I do know there are squirrels. Or even, because I went to Antarctica this year, and I think I talked about this on another show, but I felt a galactic penguin, a connection with a galactic penguin. No, I wasn't in Antarctica. I was in Chile. So I went to like a penguin reserve, and I just said, if there are any galactic penguins, I hope to meet you. And then a few minutes later, there was a penguin. So there's like a pathway, and it's roped off, where the penguins are. So you are not allowed to go 6 feet close to a penguin. But when a few minutes after I made that announcement, here comes a little penguin going past the ropes, going right towards my leg, biting on my leg and trying to pull on my sweatpants, trying to pull me into its penguin home. And I felt it didn't feel like an Earth penguin. It felt, there was a vibration to it that I recognized. So I knew there was something star connected.
Okay, that's cool. You're kind of breaking up, so
I am.
I'm gonna just say that he was in Chile. He went to Antarctica and then went to other places, and there were penguins. And he put out there, like, if there's any, I don't know how you said it, any penguins that are related to this, show me your presence. And one Was it one or a few?
It was just one. It was just one.
It came out. But then I'll say that also then, Homer, maybe those raccoons that you told me about in your backyard, maybe they are too, because they went running after you and trying to grab your feet.
I know it was like this. And there are raccoons out there in space too. But you know, speaking of Antarctica, when I was there, I was also guided to do a healing on the whales and the seals. Because historically in our Earth history, they were not treated that great. They were killed. Many of them were killed. So I was in the Falkland Islands and I went to a museum and there was a harpoon in the corner of the museum. And I didn't even touch the harpoon, but I put my hand near the harpoon, but I felt like a wave of frequency and then a download of information. So I felt all the anxiety, the sadness, the fear from whale, like collectively the whale energy. So right there on that spot, I was just harmonizing the whale energy collectively and historically. I mean, time doesn't matter. It was I was in this timeline, but I'm also sending out healing in history. And not only the whales, but I felt guided to work on the seals too, because a lot of them were killed too by a lot of fur trappers and people that were using whale blubber and seal fat for at the time to light the kerosene lamps.
Right.
So that kind of dissipated when society started to move away from that. But back then, when people used lanterns to light the cities, for example, they used whale blubber and seal fat.
Right.
So I had to do a healing on that.
Yeah. So a lot of our travels, we don't know. We know why we're going, but we always run into other things that we're meant to do while we're on our travels. And so that's something that's comes up. Also, I'll say that dolphins are very star related, and dolphin energy is something or frequency is what we use in light activation as well.
We see them all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so Kat, are you ready to work with Shay the cat, who could use some healing and has a bit of a cold? So as Kat's tuning in, what we're going to do is we're all going to send in frequency. So all three of us will be working on Shay or whoever we, work on today. And Kat can just do the scan and say what she's getting, any information. And then when she's done, if Homer or I get some things that we want to add, we'll do that as well. Sound good? Okay, so we'll start sending in the frequency. And then whenever you're ready, you can go ahead, Kat.
All right, I'm definitely seeing a lot of congestion at the top, just like in that head area. It's very red. Seems like what I keep hearing is the air. Something about the air is getting to the kitty. Particles. Yeah, its head feels very full right now. The cat has a big old headache. He's very lethargic. Do you guys get anything else?
Yeah, I was totally seeing like white energy right at the top, and I was getting headache as well. So yeah, I was totally getting that, and also something with the paws, the two front paws, and where the nails are, like do you call them fingers? Those areas. I don't know. It feels like there's some kind of a buildup or dust, or it just feels really uncomfortable. Like it needs to be cleaned out or something. I don't know. It's weird. I just am feeling I'm feeling like, you know, when you put your fingers in dirt and it gets stuck up in your nails. That's the feeling that I'm getting, but it's the whole cause on the front. Homer?
Yeah. Star, is this cat old or because I was getting like the message of there's some sort of limitation. So Shay is unable to do things that Shay was able to do before. So there's some limitation of some sort. So that's causing, from what I was feeling, anxiety. And I see that connected with the head, the thinking, the brain. And also I was being guided to the intestines. So it's connected with anxiety too. So like, I don't know if Shay is having digestion issues, but something there is not flowing. Like it feels, oh, she's 16. Okay. And this is your cat. So I guess 16 is kind of not senior citizen yet, but kind of approaching it. But yeah, like she's unable. Oh, it's a she. Okay. She's unable to do things like what she used to do, and just feeling the intestines, the digestion, it's not flowing as smoothly. So, and I don't know has she been throwing up or regurgitating food, but it's like I'm feeling like a queasiness too with the stomach. So something.
I hear bacterial overgrowth as well. Like
Mhm.
there's some sort of bacteria that is causing this indigestion with her. And it probably
Yeah, I was feeling inflammation in the digestion, in the intestine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also something with the neck, the throat, not the neck, the throat. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't think that you're probably giving her milk, but definitely don't give her milk. It just feels, it feels like it's irritated. So it's, your cat definitely needs this healing. So we're going to do some clearing, and we are doing it as we're talking. But very, very irritated in the head area for sure. And I hear air too. So something with the air quality, something with that is irritating as well.
But she does love the attention you are giving her, Star. Like she, so if you're not already doing this, then I assume you are, continue to be, continue to nurture her. She loves that.
And I also hear like keeping her environment quiet and that gentleness, that gentle energy, quiet music, quiet television.
Yeah, I agree. And even if there's like, for example, any arguments in the room, don't have her in there. Or like, like just, she needs to calm the commenters.
No arguing in front of your children.
No arguing.
Okay. Yeah,
like
we're
a stress-free environment. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how anybody feels when they don't feel good.
I know.
So just sending in lots of frequency, clearing things up, working on those areas that we saw in particular, just to help shift that out. And also the energy around her, the air, because that kept coming up, and just resetting and harmonizing the space around Shay and Shay with the space.
And you know what? I did get a glimpse of like a spirit guide for Shay, like another cat.
That
was cool. Yeah.
Oh, and then when Andrew comes home, the sound goes up. So that's probably why you're hearing that message then. So you have to advocate for your kitty. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Star.
Any other? I don't see any other requests.
I see Delia. Wait, on my cat. Oh, but that's not a request.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I don't know if it's a request or not, because it kind of says just
More
something.
like a statement.
It's like
would love assistance with focus.
Okay, so
Is Focus the name of your pet?
I think she's talking about herself, but I don't know. Maybe it is. Also, Judy, I saw earlier saying her father's real name is and was Wolf. Wow, that's really cool. Was he kind of a wild one? And she's asking for a personal healing. So we can do that until we see anyone else who comes up. So that is Judy. So we are going to do a personal healing, like a little mini healing. So we'll start sending in frequency, and then Kat, you do a scan, anything you're picking up, and we'll also work on what you're talking about, and then we'll also give input. Okay, Judy, all you need to do is relax and breathe because your breath is short.
Yep.
All right, and just allow. So we're going to go ahead and start sending in frequency.
I'm seeing a lot of cloudiness in the head area. Like there's a lot of emotional energy there, a lot of worrying.
Yeah.
I hear worrying about getting back up. A lot of inflammation in the body. You guys see that as well? You definitely need to take time to relax. You're not allowing that in your life.
Can you see what's causing the inflammation or any messages on what she should do for that?
I'm getting that it's like they're not allowing time to rest. So they're always in this fight or flight mode. When you're in that fight or flight mode, your body's literally in an emergency state. So if you don't allow yourself this time to relax and be and self-nurture, you're going to have this high emergency state, which sends out all these different hormones and just makes us not feel well. So
yeah, probably triggering cortisol levels, right?
Yes, relax.
Yeah.
Homer?
Yeah, so Judy, because I see your question, how do I lessen that inflammation? So from what I was getting with the inflammation was, well, you tend to worry a lot and you're overwhelmed. And I even detected a bit of anger vibration within the liver area. But with the worry and the anxiety, so that kind of brings in the acidity within the body. So it tends to be acid-like. So inflammation. And you're asking, how do I lessen the inflammation? Well, on the physical level, definitely drink water. Water will help, and whatever supplements that may kind of support anti-inflammation. So that's on the physical level, but on the emotional level, because I was getting the message that yes, you do worry, and then you tend to what was that term? Sing in two directions at the same time.
Oh, so look in two directions at the same time.
So like even when there's something positive, sometimes your a habit is like switching it and like, no, that's not right. No, I won't get that. Or, it's going to the negative, I guess, the lower thought. So in terms of emotions and thoughts, it's like shift it into a higher or
perspective.
Perspective. Switch it, like if you feel a lower emotion, switch it to a more comfortable emotion. So that'll help with the inflammation on the energetic level.
So, for people who look in two directions at the same time, which means you have a contrast in your beliefs, in your thoughts, in your perception. What I'm hearing for you, I'll sidestep for a second. For you, Judy, I heard a message for you. Don't be afraid of things not going. Don't be afraid of things going right. Like it's like you almost believe that things will always go wrong or not be the way that you would prefer. Even if they start going to the right, it's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so when people have this issue of, it's kind of like, the story about the two wolves, one says positive stuff and the other one says negative. And they said, which one is right? And it's the one that you feed is going to be the one that's right. So you can actually focus on the positive and get the positive, or you can focus on the negative and get the negative. Either way, you're going to use the same amount of energy, but you're going to get a different result. And that's so weird that I said the wolf, because I think you're the one that said your father's name was Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's a really true and easy way to look at things. And we help people with these kind of things, like helping you to shift these contrasts so it's easier for you to not do it. It's one thing to tell someone that they have it and don't do that, do this. But if it's been a habit of their life, it's hard for them to understand really how to do it and how to change that. This is something we help our clients with all the time. So what I was getting when I was tuning in was digestive issues. And what I was hearing is you are an empath. So everything affects you 10 times worse than the normal feeling person. And so you take on a lot of, I'm hearing the word despair. The people that you're around and the situations that you pay attention matter, because you're just soaking up all of that like a sponge. It's like whatever is in your view, whatever is coming up on your Facebook feed, whatever's coming up in your life, it's just like you just soak it in and soak it in and soak it in. And then it starts affecting your energy, and then it starts affecting your physical body. That's how physical discomforts and illnesses happen, is it starts as an emotional or a mental issue. And then if you don't fix that, it starts affecting your physical body. And then once it starts affecting your physical body, it starts making it harder and harder to deal with the original issues that were brought on. So I'm also hearing the strength that you get by, thinking about your father. And I can tell that you really adore him. is that, you know, you are a part of him. So claim that same stuff for yourself, because I'm really feeling him. I don't know if he's deceased. I feel like he's guiding you, and he's trying to tell you to get into your power and stand strong for yourself, and you know, set boundaries. Don't let people just knock you down or treat you like crap or talk to you in negative ways. Like, don't put up with that. Do not put up with that. And you can also use the power of wolf energy, like a power totem. Start calling in wolf energy to be with you and protect you and walk in front of you, and let that wolf energy take care of people that are difficult with you in your life. You know, if somebody spouts something off to you, just say, wolf, handle it. And you'll probably see that person fall off their chair, or something will happen, because I've seen these things happen. So you don't have to do it all alone. There's a lot of support for you in the unseen world if you tapped into that. Okay. I'm going to cut the cord.
Thank you,
I
Judy.
I also heard that Judy should be open to new possibilities, to new experiences, and to new people. Like, you're doing a lot of the same things, so you won't get the same results. So just open yourself up to new situations, because things will be different in those situations, and it can make your life more exciting and give you more to look forward to.
Yeah, I feel like there's a man in your life that's really a drain to your energy, and I don't feel like he's very nice, but that's just what I'm getting offhand. So we're sending you lots of love.
Oh, also one more thing.
Well, we have other people.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, if it's important, go ahead. But
Judy talked about skin issues. Judy tend to hold things. You're not releasing things. So if you don't release it, the body will somehow find a way to release things. So that's what I was getting with the skin issues. It's coming out in its own way, in the form of like a skin, and I don't know what you said, like your skin issue.
Rash or something.
Yeah, rash. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a release.
Yeah.
And also, watch what you're eating. What you're eating is causing these rashes and things like that too. So, I mean, it's just better self-care. That basically the bottom line is better self-care, mentally, emotionally, and physically.
See, this is what happens. We get a lot of information.
I mean, when we do client work, there's a lot of information that comes through, a lot. Okay, so I want to go back to Delia, because I think she did say she wanted her cat, help with her cat. Let me just make sure. What can help him? He's doing a lot of work. Help him clear. I think she wants us to look at her cat. He has been extra protective at night, sleeping near others' head, and dry skin lumps. I don't know. This is kind of like hieroglyphic writing, but we can look at your cat.
Delia, can you clarify a little?
Well, I mean, let's just look.
Okay.
See what we got. So we will start sending frequency to Delia's cat and do the same process. So I'll just start since I got stuff already. He seems very angry.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing I saw, is he looks angry and he seems angry. He's really like stubborn, and he doesn't want to be bothered. And I really do sense he doesn't feel good. And what I just heard is he hasn't felt good for a long time. In fact, I sense that he hasn't felt good a lot of his life. Like, he just doesn't feel good. And so his moods have to do more with not feeling good. And I feel like he's really sensitive too, to the touch even. Like he's very sensitive and every little thing can make him feel uncomfortable. It's like, I also feel like it's not, you know, cats like to be pet, but it's almost like he doesn't because everything is stimulating in an irritating way. But he looks so angry. His face looks so angry. And I'm not sensing he's just an angry cat. I just sense that he really just doesn't feel good and doesn't know how to communicate that or, you know, how he could ever feel better because he can't like communicate that. What were you getting, Homer?
Kind of along the same lines. I mean, yeah, he's not feeling good. It is a he, right? Yeah. He's not feeling good. Kind of like, you know, when your skin is so sensitive and people want to hug you, but you're like, don't touch. Kind of like that. Very, and I wrote down the word protective. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but more like, you know, hold off. Like, don't, like it wants love, but it's like, no, you know, I need to, like a protection of some sort.
His life is very difficult.
Yeah.
What were you getting, Kat?
Yeah, he's very hypersensitive. And I also get that he's really worried about something that's going on in the household right now. And a lot of this pain, it's kind of a reflection of things that have been going on in the owner's life, like the turbulence, and that makes the cat react even more so. Already being a sensitive cat, and then having the turbulence around him, like just amplifies it, and then puts him in this high state of anxiety. And so when you're like super anxious, you don't want to be touched. You, like what Homer was saying, it's almost like, you know, like when someone pets you, or like let's say your skin, but they keep doing it, and it's like this just irritating feeling for him. But he is, his surroundings affect him a lot. Did you guys get that as well?
Well, it's interesting because Delia said he is a rescue cat, and I was getting like, there's like the kind of like a lack energy, so it's like protective over like, this is my food. It doesn't want to share, like stay away, kind of like that. And it was connected to like being abandoned in some ways, like, so being abandoned, being alone, fending for itself. And, you know, I may not have enough, so don't, you know, touch my stuff kind of thing, like back off a bit. That was the energy I was getting.
So what tips can we give to help?
Well, definitely harmonize.
Well, for her on an
Yeah.
ongoing basis.
Let him come to you if he needs affection. Don't go to him or like over cuddle him.
Yeah, cats like to be on their own terms. Like if you want them to come over, they will not come over unless they want to. So I agree with Kat. Let your cat come to you.
And independence. He needs a lot of independence.
What can be done for his physical problems?
I'm not sure what food you're giving your cat. Is it like the dry food or is it the wet food?
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because I got diet may help with that.
Yeah, I'm getting that he needs a lot more water, and I'm also hearing fish is good for him. I don't know why I keep hearing antibiotics, but I get that anything like that, not to say don't do it if that's something he needs, but his system is super sensitive, so that would be something you wouldn't want to do like a lot. but I do sense he needs to be treated in some way. So I don't know if you've brought him to the vet or what, but he's just really not comfortable. And I don't sense he's going to just get better on his own without some changes.
Mhm.
Are
He
you
is picky with his food.
Are you
That's what-
getting anything, Kat?
There was something that came up, but my mind is blank on it. Oh, what you said back to the fish. Yeah, he needs like more oils for his body, like for his bones. That'll also help. Did she say there was a skin issue with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the fish oil. And if you do give him antibiotics, do make sure you give him probiotics, like kitty probiotics, because that'll help build back up that system for him so he can feel better soon.
Yeah. He needs help for sure.
Mhm.
And I think I saw that you do Reiki, so that's something that you could be doing on him every day. Okay, so that's that one. And then I did see someone earlier. I don't know if she's still here, Doreen Kenny, for herself.
Oh, would love assistance with focus.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was 2 messages.
Oh, there's 2? Oh, let's see.
I just saw for herself. So I'm just trying to find that. So that was her saying she would like assistance with focus?
With focus, yeah.
Okay. So we'll just open to see what messages we got, and we will, include that as well. So we'll get started. So I'll start by saying that I see a misalignment in your skeletal system with your head, and your spine, your neck and your spine is off. So it's throwing your energy off. So we're just going to send some strengthening frequency in there to move that, because it is affecting the flow of energy to your head. And what I'm seeing is it's getting bottled up in the back of your neck. And then a very little bit of it is getting in your head. So it's like your head doesn't have the full flow of energy that it needs to be healthy and to focus or to even manage every day. Not to say that you're not managing, but what I'm hearing is it's a lot harder for you than it has to be. We're just going to clear that and align your skeletal system in that area to move things in. And as we're doing that, I have to follow down your spine and into the rest of your skeletal system, into your hips and legs, because everything kind of just seems shifted out of gear. I don't know if, obviously things like full body stretching would help. It can be just something gentle, but just to do that, even something as beneficial as restorative yoga, where it's so relaxing and so easy to do it. It's not like a typical yoga class, but you're laying down and you have bolsters and pillows and sandbags to help you. And you're just doing very holding gentle moves just to get your body moving and aligning, because I'm feeling a lot of stress coming up in your neck. Like there's a lot of stress that's causing you to tense and your body to shift out of, it's kind of out of whack. So when that happens, the flow, which is so important, that goes between your head and your spine and through your neurons, through your body, it's just, it's completely, it's not functioning properly. So we're working on all that. Kat, are you getting something?
I heard that dancing would help her, just like light dancing, nothing extreme, just getting that movement going. I also saw there's some issue with the right shoulder, and like accepting love, even accepting what's coming at you. It is hard for you to focus because it's hard for you to accept the energy that comes to you.
Homer?
First thing I got was not grounded, so unable to concentrate. But then it's leading to what you just spoke of, Cindy, about the spine, the skeletal structure. But because I know you were focusing on the spine, but I was too. But also I was led to the internal organs next to it because I got again another digestive issue, not with you, but another issue of that coming up. It's affecting especially like the stomach, because I even took note of that the stomach was being affected, and even with trying to digest things, because it's not digesting that well when you're sometimes when you eat, it's also not it's taking away the kind of like it's making your head or brain or concentration cloudy, because a lot of the energy is being focused on the digestion system, because it's taking a lot more energy trying to digest. And it's also with that, I'm seeing the chakras being affected, especially the lower chakras. And when the lower chakras are affected, it kind of also affects the rest of the chakras and the whole body as a whole. So I was being guided to work on that, the lower chakras, because it's near the digestive area as well. So we're focusing. So I'm focusing on sending healing to those areas.
Yeah, and doing a lot of water with lemon will help your liver cleanse, because it looks pretty.
Yeah.
It's heavy. You need to cleanse your liver. And also I'm getting, I don't know if it's pain, but there's something on the right bottom, almost like where the sciatica is, maybe a little bit above. I keep getting guided to move the energy there. Is kind of, it's stuck, and that you're having a hard time moving forward in your life. So yeah, all of these things would contribute to that. I don't know. I would definitely take the advice of doing some kind of body movement to keep your body in alignment. Of course, anything that you do, you decide what's best for you. We can only give, what we're hearing, but ultimately you need to make the decisions for yourself of what's right for you. Sometimes like a chiropractor would even help just to keep you aligned. But again, that's something you have to decide for yourself. But definitely some kind of body movement where you're stretching or doing something that would affect all the different areas, because you need to keep your whole body aligned to get your energy flowing in the right way. Okay. So is there anything else that you want to share, Kat, in any subject that with light activation?
I was kind of put on the spot.
Well, let me ask you this. Why don't you tell them about your group on Facebook for your animal healing?
Yes. So I have a Facebook group. It's called Free Energy Healing for Animals. And I do a 60-minute session once a month for animals. And I also have tried to invite other people, and I'm open to other healers joining the groups so that animals can basically receive healing whenever they need it. Because whenever I'm on Facebook groups, like I'm part of Siberian Husky and Golden Retriever Facebook groups, I'm always seeing posts about animals having cancer or tumors or issues that just give me a lot of anxiety. So I created this group in hopes of being able to reach more animals, and just so, because animals, they don't have money, so I think of it like, well, they really need help, and I don't want to restrict that from them. And so I try to do a little bit of that every month so that I can help as many animals as possible.
Yeah, so if you could go to her, it's called Free Energy Healing for Animals.
Yes.
Okay, I typed it wrong the first time, so I corrected it. If you have the link and you can put it there, that would be great. If not, that's okay. You can find it. What was I going to say? So I know that she does, group healings every so often. And if you would go to her page and even just support it by giving a like or sharing it with your friends who have animals, you could help. You never know what animal you're helping or the owner of the animal you are helping. And also, Kat does sessions for humans. And so that's always something too. Do you have a separate page for your regular healings?
Yes, I do have a Facebook page, Starlit Magic. So STARR, there's 2 R's, Lit Magic. And I don't have a website yet, but that's coming in the near future, working on that stuff.
Okay. I'm just putting that in the comments. Starlit Magic Facebook group for Kat. If you want to find her there and support her page, like it, all those things. And while we're on that subject, please make sure that you like this wherever you're watching it, on YouTube, Facebook. Share if it was helpful for you. If you want to see more like this, because we could always have Kat back, and we have some another person who works with animals as well. And we're going to continue to do other topics. We have a very powerful group coming on Thursday. There will be 6 of us blowing down the house with frequencies. So we will all be doing a mastery technique of light activation, which is very powerful. We'll all be doing a different one all at the same time on whoever shows up, and randomly we'll pick some people if they want to receive a healing reading, but it'll be super powerful with 6 people just beaming you up. And
put on your seatbelts.
Yeah, it's called the Ancient Mysteries of Light Activation Healing. And we have posted the reminder, the announcement reminder on our Facebook pages. Both I have and Homer has. And so, yeah, that's going to be super powerful. That will be Thursday at 6 o'clock Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. I highly recommend. That's going to be pretty incredible. And yeah, we're just going to keep coming back with doing it in all different ways, because light activation is such a huge.
We have a lot to share, even our experiences on trips, everything.
Yeah. So it's an ancient healing modality. And so, yeah, there's just so much to share. So is there anything else you wanted to say, Homer or Kat, before we wrap this up?
I mean, I was going to bring it up to the people that are listening. Like, is there anything that they're interested in, and maybe type it in, and that may be a future show?
Yeah. So any comments that you put, we can look at them after this gets, it's just going to be on the page wherever you're watching it. And yeah, so if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, commenting, all those things help us to be seen by more people that could use the help. And we really appreciate it. And we thank everyone that came today. It's been awesome having you, Kat. Thank you so much for being
willing. Thank you, Kat.
So
Thank you,
it was so nice to have you. And you're welcome to come back anytime you want. So
thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Really, these 2 are so amazing, and you guys really should go on their trips, because it is very special, and they're not just awesome healers, but they're really beautiful, beautiful people, and entertaining as well. I'm always laughing.
Yes, we are not the normal. That's for sure. Yeah. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. We have a lot. Those spiritual journeys mean everything to us. So, yeah, and we do have a light activation class coming up next July in 2021. And next year we have some spiritual journeys. Peru is going to be amazing. We're actually adding Bolivia to the Salt Flats extension trip after, and we're going to do the Nazca lines prior to the main trip. So it's going to be
and then maybe Bimini, Bahamas in May next year.
Yep, we are definitely going to do that.
Mhm.
And also with the Peru, we work with shamans all over Peru to experience, because they all work different. They all do different kinds of things. So we explore plant medicine in the Amazon jungle, and it's just an incredible experience. And then, of course, up in the Andes with our shaman there, and learn about ceremony. We do a lot of ceremonies. It's very life-changing with every single ceremony we do. And you get to actually learn how to do ceremony if that's something that you're interested in. So it really can enhance your gifts if you do this kind of work. And we even go to the shaman market. And it's amazing to go to a shaman market where you can just buy anything that you need to do your shaman work and meet other shamans in the shaman market.
Yeah.
It's just so authentic and so beautiful and so amazing. So yeah, that'll be next August. So if you're interested in any of those things, hit us up. And I guess that's it. I really appreciate everybody being here, and we will see you on Thursday, and lots of love and light to everyone. Peace.
Thank you.